been a long, grueling season in the Outsiders Cup Series, but we're still not over yet. We don't have just one, we have two races left in this season, and here is the second to last round of the season at Dover International Speedway. My name is Finny Nakuna. I'm tonight with Connor Horn as Kyle's out of town at the moment, so I'm taking over the helm of the stream. And Connor, I think we're in for a pretty interesting race, especially coming off the back of last week.
I think everyone's going to be pretty antsy to try to redeem themselves after what was a lackluster performance from pretty much everyone, to say the least, at Martinsville. Come to definitely a wider track at Dover, a lot more variety with lane choice, and obviously a lot more opportunity for passing, if you ask me, apparently. So I'm very excited to see what everyone can do. Everyone should be pretty happy with how their practice sessions have gone, and you've seen some fast times already.
Yeah, and speaking of fast times, we're looking at a fast driver, Josef Gali in the 12. He's been a hot topic in the last few weeks of the Outsiders Cup Series. He's done really well despite not being a chase driver, and we'll see where he is as he's coming out of turn 4 for his final lap. And what's it going to be at the line? An improvement to pole for the 12 of Josef Gali, looking also at Alek Martinez. Trying to find him. There he is. Now he's coming out at turn 4, and we expect to see him up at the time sheets. Did really well in practice.
A 3.
And he's going to take pole.
That's by 600ths over Gali. I mean, he was fast in practice, and he just blew him out of the water right now for qualifying. He's looking proud for a pole right now.
And also looking at Zach Halpern in the 26. He's kind of lost out of the championship fight. Oh, and as they say that, he's crashed.
And he lost a car.
Yeah, crashed out of turn 2. And he's going to end the wall and have to reset down to pit road, so he's not going to be able to put down a second time. I was saying that Halpern's kind of out of the championship fight. It's really down to Alek Martinez, Tim Downey Jr., and also Elliot Butler. Elliot, we didn't really talk about in qualifying. He's currently sitting 6th on the grid as we wait for the last few seconds of qualifying to wrap up. Doesn't look like we're going to have anyone. So, Connor, looking at, kind of qualifying, you're here for a bit of practice as well. Who do you think, who's kind of standing out in your mind?
Well, it's got to be Martinez speed-wise, definitely, but I saw a lot of good laps put together by Gali. He was running really well around the middle of the track. He wasn't really going down to the bottom or high to the top. He was running a smooth line, and he was doing a really nice job of doing that, so I expect him to be the biggest factor in this.
Yeah, we'll see as these guys take the grid tonight. 150 laps scheduled distance where these guys are going to get underway here. And again, really looking also to up there, driver we haven't really talked a whole lot about. He's been kind of on the down low as far as the way he's been running. Adam Cabot has not really been performing in the last few weeks, but currently sitting 3rd. He's going to line up 3rd on the grid.
Cabot's always one who's good for speed, just sometimes he can't really put together the full package, can't finish these races off, but you get him going fast, you get him in a track that he can really go drive well at. He's always going to be a threat for the win at those types of tracks, so I expect him to mix it up a little bit today.
Yeah, indeed, we do expect him to see him do well, especially with that high starting spot. Speaking of which, let's get through your starting lineup. Starting on pole, as usual, I should say at this point, Alek Martinez is going to be starting in the inside. Outside him, the 12 of Josef Gali.
Yep, but then as we were just talking about, Cabot's 3rd with a 4.84, Tim Downey Jr., P4 right behind Gali. That should be interesting. Then we got Chuck Sweeting, Elliot Butler 3rd and probably final championship contender, P6, followed by Matt White and Alex Bell.
Yeah, and looking down to the rest of it as well, just trying to see if we kind of missed anyone or if anyone's really starting towards the back. We definitely know Halpern's going to be starting to the back. He's got pretty decent speed, so we'll see him trying to climb up through the order as this race goes on. Also, Chuck Sweeting qualified also pretty well. He's qualified in 5th for tonight's race.
Yeah, decent run for him. He's always been lurking around there, top 10. I know Joshua Banks never really gets that much practice for this, but only P10. I expect him. We'll see if he can get to the top 5 in a few laps.
Yeah, indeed, and also a few notables on the grid tonight, too. You can see the 42 of Brian Chambliss. That's not your 42, that's Brian Chambliss in the 42 at the Rum tonight. Decided that he was not going to participate. He was going to go into a more layback role at Outsiders and not in a racing role, but decided he wanted to race tonight. So he's on the grid, and also, too, our defending champion, If I can find him here on the order as I'm looking up and down. There he is, the 13 of Eli Hinton. He has not been around for a few weeks. He's been pretty busy with real-life stuff, and he announced just today, not only a few hours ago, that he is stepping down from it as a driver for the rest of the season and possibly for the rest of Outsiders as a league. So he's taking a step back and going to be calling it quits for now, as he's going to be attending to real-life things. So this will be his last race.
Yeah, and Eli's someone I have a lot of fun racing with him, whether it's official or a league race like this. He's always fast, always fun to race with. Doesn't race you clean, but he'll race you hard. He does race you clean. Sometimes he might not, but for the majority, he does race you clean. He's one of the more interesting drivers in the league, and I like him a lot. It's sad to see him go, but priorities, life over sim racing, man. You gotta do it.
Yep, some would argue the other way around, but Eli Hinton's going to be starting a little bit further back in the grid than probably he would like, but we definitely seen his speed in the past. That's got him a championship, but looking up at the top of the grid is going to be Alek Martinez in the 18 and Josef Gali in the 12. Both of them going to be leading the rest of this field down 20 cars strong here at Dover. Pace car off and away, waiting for that green flag. Alek Martinez getting up to speed, and green flag in the air here at Dover.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how many people really battle early in the race to see how they try to manage your tires, because Dover can eat up your tires in a heartbeat. It won't take much to wear them out. We'll probably see a lot of single file, as I say that. See like the top 6 or 7 already single filed out, as Alex Bo didn't get a good start there, but looks like everyone got away unscathed.
Yeah, and already at the top, it's Josef Gali and Martinez breaking away from the rest of the field, and like you were saying, everyone else pretty much single file at the moment. Everyone just trying to get into a groove.
Yeah, as we see all these people, they really don't want to wear their tires. They see how much it can cost you in the long run. Some people might not see long runs happening. As Joshua Banks goes all the way to the bottom of a track down into turn number 3. It could get dicey if we see a lot of people wearing their tires out, getting loose out of the turns. We can see a lot of big wrecks on front stretch and back stretch, so everyone's got to try to keep their cool here for the start.
Yeah, and we're looking at Joshua Banks currently in the 36, defending off Eli Hinton, trying to keep him at bay. Everyone kind of separated now at like around 0.2 of a second gaps. Still going single file as they're going off into 3 and every. You can see a lot of guys playing around with the lines.
I think Martinez just got to the back of Miller. They just came up on Jeremy Miller. I think Martinez might have gotten to the back of him, and he's holding up Cabot now.
Yeah, and we saw on the ticker that Jeremy Miller started from the pit. Surprised, you can actually see some rear end damage in the 30 car. You'll see it here as he passes on by. So that was unexpected here, and we'll try to take a look back at it real quick. This is a look at what happened here. That wasn't as dramatic as I thought, but I think definitely a little bit of damage to the 18. You can see Gali trying to make an opportunity, but couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I think luckily for Martinez, Miller got the worst of that, so Miller is a couple laps down now, and Martinez actually getting away from he's gone away from Cabot. He's away from Gali all of a sudden, so I think he might have gotten away with one there, as those top 2 are set and sail.
Yeah, and here they are, and the rest of the field still trying to work on past Jeremy Miller, who ended up missing the start. Whoa! Sideways off the turn. He's going to get into the 19 of Martin Sproul, and a big wreck down into turn 3. Caution out.
And that's just what happens when you pretty much join into a session at the very start of the real race. You get no experience on the track.
And we'll take a look at what happened here. Looking at Martin Sproul now. Yeah, just Miller getting loose off the corner into Sproul and then just doored it. Not even doored, just drove into the 36 there. Eli Hinton also got a little bit of a piece of that, but mostly it was the 19 and the 36. One final look at the wreck as they're passing on through this camera. And we'll go back up to indeed see how pit stops are going for the drivers down on pit road.
wonder if Martinez is going to take the time to repair that damage. It seemed like it was hurting him too much.
Yeah, honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't. I think definitely passing is going to be a bit troublesome tonight. And
see what he does here. Yep, it's just going to go.
And race off of pit road. It looks like it looks like Tim Downey Jr. is overtaking the 77 of Adam Cabot. So those two drivers extending spots. Mostly everyone else seems to be pretty much where they came out in.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to gain any positions on pit road when how long it is, 35, super slow. You're usually not going to get people going even slower than 35 because 35 is painful, especially at a track, even at a track like this. So pit stops might be interesting for speeding, but I don't see much strategy coming into play today.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot either. I mean, do you think that a two-tire call is viable, especially in the late part of a race, or do you think it's going to be all fours all the way around?
It's really not like Martinsville where I feel like you can think you're going to get yellows. I feel like Dover can, in a way, get spread out more, so I don't think two in any way, or even staying out, or two tires, I don't think either way would really hold up, but I guess it depends on how many laps you get on the tires and what you're willing to risk.
Yeah, indeed, as you got the field passing off through 1 and 2 now. Looking up and down the order here, just trying to kind of see if anyone's really gained a whole lot of spots. We didn't see a whole lot of passing. Everyone pretty much went single file early on. Again, this is a 150 lap race, quite a bit ways to go. Anyone that you see that's gained a lot of spots?
Mainly Hronis, 19th to 12th. Not a big jump, but it's the most you'll see probably throughout the field. 7 spots.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty decent climb up for the 29 car.
Well, it's 3. He probably passed 3 in the wreck, so.
Yeah, Hronis definitely, his season could have probably gone a lot better for him. He's been struggled quite a bit, so just looking for a decent finish and look for the end of this season and I guess a new start next season. I think more so than him is the 33 of AJ Stravato, who's only two spots behind him in the 33 M&M scheme, a new paint scheme for Stravato, and I don't think anyone can really talk about bad luck as much as the 33 of Stravato. He's had probably the most of it than I've seen any other driver in any league on sim racing.
I'm willing to bet he changed to an M&M scheme just so he can get good luck on his side. See, Kyle won the championship, but I don't know where the bad luck doesn't end with him. It's so sad because he's such a great driver, but he just cannot stop getting involved in bad situations. See, I got in a lot of wrecks in Martinsville that might have been his doing, but a lot of them weren't. Just throughout the season, you see so many incidents that he gets caught up in that he really shouldn't be caught up in. It's just unfortunate. But even with all these incidents, he doesn't have a realistic shot, I'd say, but he's still in the championship if he gets a good finish and some good breaks today.
Yeah, and we'll see how he ends up. So far from the looks of it, looks like Jeremy Miller, he's called it and pulled it off the track. Joshua Banks still down there getting repairs. Martin Sprout looks like he's actually still rolling on the track. He's at the back of the field, 1 lap down with that damaged car, so we'll see if he can try to hang on for something. It's going to be pretty tough. That car is battered and bruised.
Yeah, really up and down 2 weeks for Sprout. If I remember correctly, he won the race, but not a lot of people want to remember that race. We're going green here.
Yep, indeed, we are. Pace car off, field coming out of turn 4, and green flag back in the air here at Dover.
Martinez got a good jump, and Tim Downey Jr. did as well. He's side by side with Gali. We've seen that go bad before. He's going to try to clear him out of 2. Not going to be able to do it. Yes, he will be. He splits Gali right into the outside wall almost.
Yeah, and in the back, too, the 6 and the 15 going at it for position as well. It's a much more chaotic start than we saw for the initial start of this race. I think a lot more guys feeling more confident.
I think people are going to start realizing the values of passing here, especially early in a run, but how many people want to risk the tires this early? Looks like Eli Hinton might want to do that. He doesn't have anything to risk at this point. Nothing doing on the outside. He has to check up big.
Yeah, he's not really fighting for anything like you said, so he's just trying to make the most of what he's got at the moment. And meanwhile, up in the front, I don't really want to take my eyes off of the 25 and the 12. These guys have quite a bit of a history as of last week. Felt that they raced each other the wrong way, so we'll see if any lingering tensions come back here between these two guys. And they have, not really the 12, but definitely the 25's got a lot resting on his plate. Only 9 points behind the man he's chasing in first.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was wrong. He probably should have just tried his best to brush Gali off, because even Gali was apparently apologizing. It might not have let it go. You can't let stuff get in your head like that if you're chasing a championship. And right now, that championship's right in front of you, really, with Martinez starting to pull away a little.
Gali trying to all over the back of the 25 of Tim Downey Jr., trying to find a way on by. And you can see in both the trio of Toyota Camrys up at the front, Chuck Sweeting has snuck his way on into 4th place, Cabot dropping back all the way to 5th.
Yeah, Cabot did not get a good start on that outside. I don't think the outside's really the play you want to restart in, and it really cost them there. These top 4 are pulling away, but Martinez starting to pull away from those 3 in general.
Yeah, indeed, and it looks like everyone else more towards back is spread out a little bit, still looking up at this battle that's actually starting to close in. Looks like Chuck Sweeting at 28, he's catching up to these guys.
Yeah, before he gets there, Gali's going to have a look on Tim Downey. Downey not giving the most room, but he's really going to pinch him off the turn. Gali's going to hit the apron, he's not going to get a drive off, Downey.
Oh, and Gali trying to slot his way right in front of Chuck Sweeting. That was a cheeky block there, or a cheeky sneak in line for the 12 of Gali. Was trying not to lose the spot. That inside lane, not worth a whole lot when you have the guy on the outside pinching you down.
Yeah, you really got to hope that the guy in front of you leaves that outside open, because if you get a good enough run in the turns, you can get to his outside and kind of hold him down there and get in the position that he loves to be in. But it doesn't seem like Downey's caring any about that at all. He's not giving him the outside at all, really, or inside.
Yeah, you know, looking at Gali, he's trying some different lines. You know, how valuable is, you know, using different lines at a place like this, especially when it's so hard to pass?
You know, you're not going to pass them by running the same line, but I don't know. Maybe at Martinsville we saw a lot of that, but I don't think it's going to get. It's not going to go well if you do it at Dover, which is way more aerodynamic, obviously. Downey's got to be smart, and so does Gali, especially Gali, because if he gets into the back of him too bad, turns him around, you got damage, and now you got another enemy on your hands.
Yeah, if there weren't already enemies. But yeah, still looking at these guys overly close. Martinez has not driven away more than I thought he was going to. Sorry, not Gali. Tim Downey Jr. has maintained a pretty close gap to the 18, not letting him out of his sights. Do you think the 18's pacing himself?
I think he probably is, because he was pulling away a lot more even when Downey was single file, and when Downey got back by Gali fully cleared, he kind of started checking up a little bit. So it's important with this new tire model. You can't really just run away with it when you get the lead and think you're good. You have to maintain a gap. You can't run your tires all the way out. If you maintain a certain gap, you should be fine, and your tires shouldn't be cooked by the end of the run. You shouldn't be back to outside the top 10.
Taking on a look further down the order, it looks like Brian Chambliss is putting some pressure, trying to put some pressure on Adam Cabot for 5th place.
Yeah, those top 4 were separated, but 5th and 6th are starting to get up there a little bit with Cabot and Chambliss, and there's Elliot Butler, one of your championship contenders, creeping up into the picture.
Yeah, and he's a little bit more behind the leader. He's currently 11 points behind Alek Martinez to Tim Downey Jr.'s 9 points behind, so he's still well within the picture, but again, needs to be up there. His 2 competitors are 1st and 2nd, while he's running in 7th.
And he's got a bit of a ways to go, maybe about 2 seconds behind Martinez and about 6 cars in between the two. 5 cars, excuse me. He's got some work to do, but he's got to be pretty happy where he's at right now.
Yeah, indeed so, especially considering all these guys are all almost within a second. In fact, the entire top 7 within a second and a half of each other, which is really close considering these guys are at Dover.
Yeah, speaking of Dover, there's still multiple lines. I expected a couple of side-by-side battles throughout the pack, but as far as I see, we're single file throughout.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much just single file, ripping the low line around. You potentially see guys trying to explore the middle groove.
I think soon, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. With this new tire model, it takes a while to get a second groove going. With the Xfinity cars at Atlanta for the official races, if you give up the bottom, you're pretty much losing the race. I only won a B fixed race because I literally did not give up the bottom. I had the block to the apron. It's very hard to get a second lane going unless you run a lot of laps under green, and you have a bit of a run here, so we'll see what happens. Maybe one gets going.
Indeed so, and it looks like Tim Downey Jr. is starting to really get close to Alek Martinez. The gap now under 0.2 of a second. Now, if you're Tim Downey Jr., do you try to take the lead away, or do you try to, just kind of sit back and just monitor this gap?
You might just want to sit behind him for a little bit, as we saw. I think Sweeting just gave the 4th position to Cabot, but I think you just sit behind him, see what he's doing. If he's overdriving it, you can probably tell from behind him. If you see a mistake, obviously you got to jump, but I think you just got to pace yourself early.
So far, it seems a lot of guys are trying to do that. Chuck Sweeting now is starting to drop back a little bit. You just saw Brian Chambliss get on by the 28 of Chuck Sweeting, and I think he might have used up the stuff a little bit too much. And we're talking about saving your stuff here, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing here with the 28.
Yeah, he just let those two by. He didn't even want to battle because I think his tires they're ailing right now, so he's probably got to try to regroup a little bit behind Chambliss here and see what else he can do.
Yeah, you're talking about Dover being a pretty abrasive track, and again, with this new tire model, want to warn anyone at home, you can blow a tire on this and go flying into the wall, and that's the last thing any of these drivers want, especially with a lot of the times these guys come sliding off these turns. You want to make sure you're not using your tires up too much, otherwise you're going to be, with a flat or worse, you're just going to lose a lot of time to the drivers you're racing around with.
Yeah, at a track like this, where you're almost constantly turning left, that right front is going to be on treads by the time you pit, most likely. So you really got to be careful with how much you use it, as Sweeting might have used it a lot, way too much early in this run. He just let Elliot Butler by as well.
Yeah, Elliot Butler now claiming 6th place and going to try to chase up to the rest of the leading pack. Didn't really think I would say a pack at Dover, but here we are.
Yeah, it was a pack, but it's kind of spacing itself out a little bit. The top two, Martinez and Downey, separated themselves. Then you have Gali, who was under attack a little bit from Cabot, and then Chambliss by himself, and then Butler separating himself from Sweeting now. And it's like Alex Bell is pretty much leading, I guess, the second pack with Hinton and Matt White. That's the top 10.
Yeah, Downey Jr. getting up really close to Martinez, winning a 10th, but now he started to kind of expand back out, and then also looking here at Adam Cabot, who's now started to kick it up into gear a little bit. We saw him, he qualified, I'm pretty sure, in 4th place. Pull that up here.
We've Cabot was third.
Yeah, started in 3rd and currently running in 4th.
He might be trying to pace himself, but he was catching up to Gali for a little bit, as speaking of catching up, Downey all over the back bumper of Martinez.
And here these guys are nose to tail fighting it out for the lead, and more importantly, really for the championship. But again, I think Tim Downey's really going to have to hope that the Martinez machine makes a mistake. Kind of like what he did at Martinsville last week. Martinez was looking to get a pretty sizable gap, but within the last lap, spun out and ended up finishing in 15th.
Or how about the week or two before at Watkins Glen, winning over Yusuf Gali? Really no big threat there as he tapped the wall there. No big threat out of a turn. He almost loops himself, loses that race. He's missed out on valuable points throughout this whole chase. He could have a really big gap. The championship could be over, but a couple mistakes like that, similar to what Newgarden was doing the last couple races in the IndyCar season, a couple bad races like that, and he still got a championship to win.
Yeah, indeed. As you see, Adam Cabot getting by Yusuf Gali. Gali not really putting much of a fight, so a lot of guys kind of just not even bothering battling. I think they know, who's faster, who's not faster, and trying to get out of the guy's way, just running their own race and pacing themselves.
You see a lot of that now with the tire model. You don't really want to battle as much, like, unless it's late in a race. If it's early in a race, you really don't want to battle, because it's only going to hurt your tires if the guy trying to pass you is faster than you. It's really just smarter to let them go, more than ever.
Yeah, they always say, race smart, don't race hard. But I can tell you at the moment, the guys in the front definitely racing hard.
Wish we saw that last week, but we did from some of the people. What was it? Everyone had damage last week?
Oh, yeah, everyone had damage, and also, too, if you were to look into the race standings, I think nearly everyone got minus 10 points for causing an incident. There was a lot of minus 10s in the race results, I'll tell you that. And Tim Downey was one of them.
Might see some more minus 5s here. We got a bit of a jumble up between about 8th to about 14th or 13th there. AJ Stravato, Alex Bell kind of battling it out. I'm pretty sure Alex Bell was 8th. He's starting to fall back a lot as well.
Yeah, looking at these guys right now, also we see AJ Stravato working on Alex Bell, trying to get on by that SWA car. And he's going to be successful in that. Also looking at Brandon Bowers, and then you got Hronis, Matt White, and Eli Hinton slightly up the road.
Yeah, Hinton's pretty much been holding serve. I think he got up to 9th, and he's kind of just... He got up to 8th from 15th. I think he might be the biggest mover now. Actually, no, Hronis still got more spots, but him got into 8th. He's kind of just pacing himself, I assume now. He's got a ways to go, a little bit up to the back of the first pack with Sweeting, who's still been able to stay right behind Elliot Butler, so a bit too far up the road for that. Maybe he'll try to get him on pit stops.
Yep, indeed. You just saw there Brandon Bowers getting on by Angelo Hronis, moving himself up inside the top 10 for now.
Downey's just stalking him.
Yeah, and looking up further, oh, actually, yeah, take a look. That gap's really close, and you can see how close it is. He's close enough to give a bump and run, which begs the question, do you dare give a bump and run here?
I don't think you should, as they're blocking pretty hard there. Oh, Martinez! I was about to say they aren't on the. I was about to say those two aren't on the best terms either, and it's showing right now. He got into the back of him again, and here comes Adam Cabot.
Wow, what a shake-up here. That's allowed the 77 to drive up here to the inside of Tim Downey Jr. He's going to try to wrestle it away, but Downey's got the better lane on the outside.
That definitely hurt Downey more than helped him. I know the block was aggressive, but you can't do that this early in the race. You have to pace yourself. We were talking about it earlier, and he didn't do that. Now he's got the same front-end damage as Martinez.
Yeah,
but now the message has been sent. Martinez knows what's coming.
Yep, and I think maybe that's what it was all about. We'll see.
There he is. Got him into him again.
Oh, boy.
And they disabled Alex chat, so you know what's going on here.
Have they really?
Yep.
Oh,
into him again.
Comes. Oh, he's going to wreck him at this rate.
At this rate, Elliot Butler's probably got to be looking pretty good.
Yeah, and if I'm Adam Cabot, I'll also back up about a tenth or two to give these guys some space.
It's clear what Downey's doing here, and it's only going to end in heartbreak for both of them right now. See, Alex not blocking him into 3. Yup, he chopped him. Ooh. Downey let off that time.
It looks like he tapped him in the left rear, which is probably the worst place to tap someone. There's the 18 with a block on the inside. It's going hard, guys. We still have 100 laps to go.
Here comes Cabot to the inside. See, Downey could have wrecked him there. At least he thought smartly about that one, but damage has already been done between those two. They were already on bad terms, and we thought it was Golly and Downey. Now it's Martinez and Downey who are feuding again.
Yeah, and the thing is with Alek Martinez, you're talking about his chat being muted. He was warned a few weeks ago that if he started keying up on the mic and bashing other drivers, that he was going to get a points penalty. So he's on a...
Oh, there it is!
Boy, there it is. There's a tap. It's going to knock the 18 loose, back everyone up.
Now Cabot. Yep, here comes Golly. This is going to bring Golly into it, and I don't think that's what Downey wants to see.
Oh, boy.
And they're also getting into some lap traffic here soon. Alex loose off the turn. He's loose! Contact!
In the wall.
Martinez!
Oh, and they both went to the inside!
Caution's out.
Caution out, and 2 of our championship competitors are in the wall. Wow.
You knew it was going to happen. You just knew it.
Man, oh man, it's the championship that keeps on
from race control, Martinez just got an immediate black flag.
Oh.
That might have been, because obviously they're not going to send blame on Martinez right away. That had to be for chat.
All right, well, we'll take a look. Because, oh boy, this is going to take a little bit to dissect. I think he's feeling fantastic. So looking here at these guys going into 3, now coming into 4. And this is where it goes wrong. Oh, looks like Downey gave a bump to the 18 off before that knocked him loose, and then both of them went spinning to the inside. Man. Yeah, we'll take a look off the nose of the 25 machine. And we'll take a look here, riding on board with the 25. Oh yeah, you're right. He was getting loose. It looked really close from the other angle, and then bam to the inside. Well, both of them. Although I would definitely say the 25 got the worst end of that.
Might hurt. That's gonna hurt Alec a lot there.
It's gonna hurt both these guys, and I'm sure Elliot Butler is cheering right now because, again, only 11 points behind with 2 races left, and especially when both your main competitors have pretty sizable amounts of damage to the point where they're definitely not going to be race-winning cars. He's going to be looking pretty, especially with the decently fast cars running in the top 5. Oh, man.
I know what happened at Martinsville, but you're running for a championship. You got to be more professional than that. It's just Bush League at that point by both of them. I didn't see a point for Martinez to turn left on him down the front stretch when It was really Martinez's fault that the caution came out in the first place, that they wrecked.
Yep, and it's going to be race off of pit road. It's going to be Adam Cabot leading Joseph Gali, Chuck Sweeting, Brian Chambliss, and Elliot Butler, top 5 off pit road. Of our drivers that stayed out, Casey Lakatos, also with my face on the hood. Nice to see that paint scheme return to the track.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. If you buy the $5 membership on YouTube, you get a bag of Finions. Only one. You only get one. It's up to one of these people to... It's a giveaway, basically.
Yeah. Alright, and Casey Lakatos down pit road's going to give the lead back to Adam Cabot. We'll check on how... where are they? If I could find them on the scoring here. Where is Tim Downey Jr.? He's currently in 21st in the back. The car is still rolling. And Alek Martinez trying to get out of pit lane before he gets put a lap down. He was in the pits a lot longer than Tim Downey, so I gotta imagine. Who do you think between them has got more damage?
I think it's Downey, because he ran into the back of him pretty hard. He might be down on RPMs. I wish I could see that. I don't think I can. Actually, I think I can, but he's not clutching right now, so... I think Downey literally just didn't repair some of the damage, and I think Alek did repair all of it. And I'm interested to see if Alek has to serve that under green, or what's going to happen here, because it hasn't been cleared.
Yep, and that would be even a bigger pill to swallow for the 18 who would be put. He's still on the lead lap. Again, it has a lot of damage, but being in the lead lap's a lot better than being a lap down. If he gets put a lap down, it's only going to make the situation worse for him, as he really gets put in a hole. And we've only had 2 retirements: Jeremy Miller and Joshua Banks. Everyone else is still running on the track. Martin Sprout too. He's still getting that car repaired, but it's still running.
Yeah, the fender, or at least the right front fender, just got buffed out a bit from Martinez, but you can still see the tires showing. The left front right now is a little worse. The rear of the car is obviously bent up. It's not going to be good aerodynamically. It really might not be good in any sort of way for either of those cars.
I'm surprised that Tim Downey didn't really bother fixing more on his car. Had the chance to, but coming down again, I don't really think he's going to get a whole lot of service because we were 1 to green.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know it's 1 to green. He's probably just going to blow through it here, which he is. He's going to pass his stall. He's just going to blow right through. Maybe just wanted to get to the back of the field. I guess we'll see what happens if these two get put together again. But
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't really do much. I think you proved the message, I guess.
If they wreck again, they might be done if they try getting to each other again.
Yeah.
Especially Alek.
I wouldn't play around with the admin side, especially after last week. Can't bring Martinsville more into context.
Yeah, they already aren't really happy with anyone really in general, especially those two, including Gali as well. So who knows what's gonna happen? But we still got 100 laps left, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But what I do know is Adam Cabot's about to take the green flag here.
Yep, indeed he is. Pace car off. We got Cabot in the lead. Gali, Chuck Sweeting, Chambliss, and Elliot Butler, your top 5. Green flag back out here at Dover.
Cabot got a good jump. Gali's able to hold serve in second as well, as I believe Chuck Sweeting's going to get to P3 going into turn 1 here. Bit of a stack up in the back of the pack. Everyone trying to sort themselves out here.
Yeah, and the field getting themselves sorted out here. Eli Hinton now trying to make some noise inside the top 5 as he gets to the inside and gets clear of Brian Chambliss. Well, actually, not completely clear. He's still on the outside.
He should probably get him either into 1 or out of 2 here. I know they're at the back of a pack and stuff has been said, but I'm still looking at Martinez and Downey side by side, but in the very back of the pack. Oh! 21's into the inside wall. Caution's out.
That's Eddie Trejo, and there he is, wedged in the inside wall. Looks like he's able to get it rolling. And from the looks of it, looks like he actually didn't get a whole lot of damage to the car, but we'll take a look at what happened to the 21. Taking a look off of the bridge, looking down the back straightaway. See the 21 just got loose, kind of close to the inside lane, just doored the wall and kind of rode it. And lazy spin, sort of lazy spin, will bring out the caution.
overcorrected back out from the inside wall, but he still killed it pretty good.
Indeed it did. Well, pit road is open again, and I imagine we're definitely going to see the 25 and the 18, as well as a few others, getting some service towards the back of the pack.
I wonder if we can ask what's going to happen with the that Martinez black flag. It was obviously given to him under yellow, and he still hasn't been able to
Have they still not cleared it?
serve it. No, it's definitely still there, I would assume, unless he was able to serve it under yellow, which I don't think you can serve the admin yellows under the admin.
You do have
suspension.
the privileges to go down to the race control room with
It's a fair point. I don't know about this power. This isn't a power I usually have.
Yeah. David said you're free to go anywhere you want. So, if you want to go and ask them, feel free.
That's a great idea.
And while Connor does that, gonna take a look. You see the 50 of Casey Lakatos lined up behind his teammates' car as the crew are getting to work trying to fix not only this car but also the 25 as well as also the 19. And again, just cannot state how much drama has happened over the last 2 weeks, especially with this championship. Martinez looked like he was just gonna wipe the floor with everyone. Then after last week, it closed the gap a bit from I think about 14 points down to 9. And then now it's probably going to close up even more, not necessarily with Tim Downey Jr., but with with Elliot Butler in the 6th and 4th. And just kind of looking through, we'll take a kind of run through the field here since we're under caution, waiting for Connor to get back. Take a look at where some of our drivers have started and where they currently ended up. Adam Cabot in the 77, started up in 3rd, currently running in 1st. Yosegali started in 2nd, currently in 2nd. Chuck Sweeting, more of the same story. As we kind of trickle on through, Eli Hinton, this is probably be one of the biggest movers of the race, started in 18th all the way up into 5th. Great run for the 13 in what should be his final race.
Speaking of final race, who knows when Alek's final race is going to be? David's not happy, to say the least. The penalty was not for any really anything in the chat. It was just really for the excessive blocking of Downey, really. And I guess Alex said he was just racing who was being raced, even though he was the leader, and David didn't see it that way. So, yeah, basically, and especially because of how he turned left on Downey after the incident, basically did that on purpose. So they're going to hold him 1 lap.
Oh, that's big. So they are actually going to hold him for that. That's pretty rough, and so he's not served that yet, so he has to serve it under this next caution, or after on this next restart.
Butler must be thinking that's one person gone.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, granted, we got those 1 or 2 cautions, though we did have a pretty solid green flag stretch. There's still a chance of a caution, it being Dover. Dover not really the greenest of tracks as far as green flag runs, so we'll have to see what happens, but definitely that's not a hole I would want to be in, especially when you're in the lead of a championship.
Yeah, can't blame David for judging it that way, especially after last week, what happened with Yusuf and Tim. Alek got involved as well, wasn't happy with Tim. Obviously he turned left on him, which was very uncalled for after the wreck was mainly Alek's fault. So, with all the stuff that's been said back and forth, and just kind of led up to that, I can't blame David for going harsh on it. He's the only one there, so he's definitely not going to be messing around with anything. Yep, it's his show tonight.
Yeah, it is his show tonight. Currently the lone admin, Andrew Telganoff, the other admin for the league and owner of the league. His internet went out due to lake effect snow, so sorry Andrew couldn't be here, although part of me thinks that he probably wouldn't want to be here the way this is going so far.
He'd be stressed out of his mind again. I can't blame him. Here comes Cabot. He's going to jump early.
Yeah, indeed he is. Green flag back in the air. Golly, not a good start. Whoa! Sweeting around on the front straight. We're going to loop it. And no immediate caution.
No yellow yet. Green. Looks like he's going to get it going. He didn't hit the wall too hard. He was able to loop it. He only hit the back end, so I don't even know if he hit the back end. I'm trying to look right now. I think he might have missed it. So lucky he didn't get much damage, but damage has probably been done to the tires and his track position all the way to the rear of the field.
Yeah, looking at the 15 and the 29, Hronis and Alex Bell going at it. It looks like Hronis is going to get the run off the corner. Now the 33 is Stravato trying to make a move, as well as Zach Halpern, who started it further in the back. We were talking about how he crashed out in qualifying. And currently now running in 11th place, fighting for 10th with Jared Campbell in the 66.
And Campbell's really not giving him, he's pushing him up the track as much as he can, but I don't think that's going to work. Halpern's going to get a good run off the top lane. He's going to get that position. You got to wonder if that outside lane's there now.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to become a lot more viable. The more rubber that's been put down, you can see the rubber too on the track, especially coming out of these corners. Whoa, Matt White goes hard into the inside wall. Or he doesn't get into the inside wall, does a wicked swerve, and is going to keep that car clean. That was an amazing save. Let's take a look at that real quick. And there's Matt White. Woohoo! Wow, what a wheelman. Fantastic job saving the car. He got really close to that wall.
Sounded like it. Yeah, here comes Alek. He's coming out of the pits now, and he will go a second lap down to Cabot.
Yeah, and that's going to be rough. So yeah, not only two, actually I have him listed as 3 laps down.
Let's see. Yeah, he might be. Yeah, I think you're right. 3 down. That's, unless he gets quick yellows, that's going to be impossible to get back from. If we get a green flag run there, he's cooked.
1's recoverable from, 2, that's, you're really playing with fire as far as getting back, and he's going to be stuck in 23rd for a while. He's going to have to hope that a lot more guys have worse days. Speaking of which, Tim Downey Jr., he's running kind of off the pace at the moment, but running ahead of Alek Martinez, but I don't think a lot of it's going to matter considering the main other rival in this championship is in 3rd.
Yeah, all of a sudden he jumped up to 3rd. Elliot Butler's got to be thinking he's getting handed his championship right now. He's in P3, but the top people that wrecked were obviously top 2. So I think Elliot Butler's he's licking his chops right now. I think he's ecstatic right now as he's trying to fend off Champ.
Yeah, indeed. He's trying to hold off Brian Chamos and Eli Hinton, and I'm curious if he might actually let these guys on go. I think right now he's in the best spot that he could be for this championship. He might try to play this a little bit easy here and not fight for every single spot, but we'll definitely try to get a good finish home because this is his best chance at making up points on Alek Martinez going to Indianapolis next week.
Not just Martinez, it's not like Tim Downey Jr. is doing anything. His car is still pretty off the pace. He's 21st, albeit on the lead lap, but 21st is 21st. He's got to be in a bad spot. And everyone who is behind these top 3 have to be thinking, if they can get by Butler, but Butler maybe slips back at some point, they're still going to be in position for a championship. This just blows everything out the door from what was mainly going to be the top 3 for the championship. Now everyone's back into play just about.
Yeah, pretty much so, going into these next few weeks. I mean, considering how much has happened in the last 2 weeks to really put us in this situation, it's kind of crazy what has gone on. And Elliot Butler, too, he was a competitor for the championship last year, or last season, I should say, with Eli Hinton. And unfortunately, he lost that race with the 13, but was pretty close to getting it done. Here he's got another chance and another shot at getting that championship.
Yeah, he's one of the people that you can nickname Mr. Consistency. He's always up there in one way or another, never really getting bad finishes unless it's not of his own doing. He's always getting these top 5s, top 10s, and it pays off. He's got 2 chances in a row last 2 seasons to get a championship, and this might be his best chance.
Indeed, as we look at the leaders up ahead, Adam Cabot looks like he's kind of driving away with it at the moment, but golly, not really letting him out of his sight. So the top 2 kind of separating out from the rest of the field.
Trying to check closest lap traffic. Cabot's out of 2, Chuck Sweeting's out of turn 4, as well as Downey right in front of him. He'll probably pass Downey soon. So, Alek better hope that next 10 laps or so, 20, you gotta get some sort of yellow. Just make sure you don't cause it this time.
Yeah, and he's on a watch list at this point, and, you know, we don't know. There might be some more stuff coming post-race. Again, he was warned earlier, so we'll have to see what the full extent of the penalties are, but needless to say, he's definitely going to hurt him a lot in this championship running, down in 23rd.
Yeah, he's going to have to make sure that regardless of what penalties, what finish you get here, you have to lock in and have a smarter approach for Indy. We know he was fast there. He was always up the top 3, top 5 in fuel, just couldn't get by the pair of teammates in fuel. I feel like he's probably the favorite going into next week. Maybe for the win, but for the championship, who knows anymore?
Yeah, who knows indeed. I don't think really anyone knows even on the track, but looking currently at Eli Hinton, Angelo Hronis, and AJ Stravato locked in a pretty close fight. Stravato going to the inside of his teammate.
Battle for the lead brewing. Golly all over the back bumper of Cabot. You wonder if Cabot might have used his stuff, or if Golly's using his stuff trying to get by Cabot, but Golly doing the same thing he was doing to Downey earlier in the race, trying different lines, doing a bit of a diamond in 3 and 4 there, trying to get a run, nothing doing there.
Yeah, and honestly, Golly's line is probably my favorite line, especially with this higher downforce package, to just kind of get yourself out of that dirty air and to get a better run down the straightaway. He's been trying to make it work, but he's been really struggling up right behind the car he's chasing.
And meanwhile, while those two try to sort it out, got Butler and Chambliss, who are slowly creeping their way closer to the top two, as Golly tried to get a good run through the middle of the corner there. Paid the price on exit. He's trying everything he can to get some sort of run down the straightaway to, like, jump inside of Cabot, but he just can't get anything to work yet.
Really can't just find something to work. He's going to have to try to find something here, otherwise he's going to be stuck in behind the 77. Again, really, the 12 just out here for wins. Same thing for the 77.
Who knows? What happened with the top two might happen again. Not with the feud and everything, but really the wreck that happened wasn't really a part of a feud, at least the initial wreck. Martinez just got loose off the turn, into a wall, second place, nowhere to go. It could happen again.
Yeah, it really could happen again, especially considering how close these guys are. And we saw Tim Downey Jr. was riding the bumper that 18 had nowhere to go. And actually, and you're talking about these guys getting close, here's the 6 and the 42. They pretty much are there. And we've been running better lap times. They've been running about a 10th faster the last few laps.
Yeah, we got all those guys up at the front trying to pull away from each other. Meanwhile, about 12th on back
but
is
they're
pretty
side by side for
jumbled
the
up.
lead. Side by side for the lead. Golly to the inside of Adam Cabot. Both of them side by side off of 4.
And Cabot's not going to let it go that easily. Golly's going to send it into turn number 1. Cabot's giving him a good amount of room, almost a car length. Going to try to pinch him off the turn. Can't do it. I believe Golly's going to try to squeeze up. Not quite. Golly's going to probably send it into 3 here, and he'll clear him. Put the 12 car into the lead.
Yeah, indeed, and Cabot out of line. Here comes Elliot Butler trying to make an opportunity. Can't get it done. Going to slot in 3rd.
Golly might be able to get a bit of a gap here. We'll see. He's running that outside line, giving Cabot the inside at all costs. And we'll see if Golly can pull away a little bit here. As right before that, I was looking at this big jumbled up pack. I believe it's 14th on back, 14th to 19th in a bit of a pack here. As I believe it's 23.
Oh, Martin Sprout just got doored by Robert Hill
yeah.
to the inside.
A good save there. I was about to say it was Robert Hill moving backwards, and he almost cost Martin Sprout his race.
And actually, you talk about this pack, here comes Robert Gavitt to the inside of Casey Lakatos. So a lot of good battles going on around the track, trying to keep track of all of them.
Time to go now.
And here comes Clifton Cockrell as well to the inside. And Casey Lakatos kind of just staying out of the way at the moment, as a lot of these guys are just ripping around on the inside lane, also turning back up the gap for the league. Getting closer yet again. Cabot not done yet.
Tim Downey Jr.'s out of 4, so we'll see how they navigate. Oh, here comes Cabot to the inside, hit the apron, almost got into Golly there. That was close. He's loose out of 4. He's able to gather it up, but time's lost there. Pretty valuable time.
And, you know, tenths, hundreds of a second, they matter a lot with this package. It takes a lot to build up that run again. So he's going to have to start a little bit from square one, Cabot, and he's going to have to try to chase the 12 down, although 12's gone way out of line, way high. Think he's trying something?
He could be trying something. He was messing with it when he was behind someone. Now that he's ahead, he's got the clean air. Maybe it'll work better, but leaving a lot of bottom open for Cabot's risk.
Yeah, and you saw there, Cabot try to stick a nose up there just to try to make a move or, you know, show, hey, you're leaving an opportunity open. You see Golly now back to the inside.
Right back to the bottom, yep. Can't really risk it here, as now that Golly got in front of Cabot, Butler and Chambliss are drifting a bit, especially Chambliss here. Bauer's just kind of just chilling there 2 seconds back all by himself, just minding his time with a top 5.
Yeah, Bauer's kind of no man's land, although I'm sure he's kind of happy with that, especially considering it's a top 5. He's had some decent runs.
Golly. Cabot had another run to the inside there. Now he's on alongside the door of Golly there. See if Golly can get the good run. He doesn't get the best run. Cabot's going to have a good shot of getting the lead back here into turn number 1, down to the inside.
Yeah, down to the inside for Adam Cabot. These guys side by side yet again.
Ooh, Golly tried to pinch him off the turn there. Didn't do that well of a job, but he's able to get the better run off. Almost a dead heat, and this is bringing Elliot Butler right into it. Golly up the track.
And you can see Golly, too. He was running the lane that didn't really have a lot of rubber down. Could not get this car rotated. And that's going to cost him the lead here as Adam Cabot trying to fire away to the inside and clear the 12, and indeed he does.
I think after seeing what the other top 2 did, I think Butler's just going to chill.
Yeah, I would back up a little bit, honestly. Give these guys some room just in case something goes bad.
The two ahead of you, 22nd, 23rd, I think you got a bit of room to work with, especially when one guy in front of you's like one of the guys in front of you is not in the chase, the other one's farther back than a couple of the others jump.
Yeah, and it looks like even Golly's started to separate a little bit from Adam Cabin. All three of these guys kind of getting strung out at the moment. Well,
yeah, other than Butler, I think the next closest is Alex Bell, who's mired back in 9th. Not terrible, but not good enough. And then I think it would be Stravato P6. You got Hronis around 8th. Halpern's mired back in 11th, I believe. So a couple of those guys not having terrible runs, about inside the top 10. But when Butler, the next best choice other than the top two who wrecked there, is sitting P3, you got to make something happen.
Yeah, and actually I'm looking here too. Alek Martinez is actually right in behind Halpern, and he's actually not running too terribly slow. So he's actually able to keep up with these guys. So he's not losing time or in really much more of a threat to go lap down. I think he's running. Let's see, Halpern is currently 6 seconds behind the leader, so that's how far Martinez is.
Yeah, you know, Alex just got to be smarter, especially next week if he still has a shot at the championship, a realistic shot. But who knows, maybe he gets a stroke of luck and he can get those 3 laps back. No one else has been lapped yet, but Tim Downey Jr. is getting pretty close to being lapped. How ironic, because him and Robert Hill. I think Robert Hill is going to be the next to get lapped, by the way. He's about 2 seconds up the road from Cabot, which, speaking of Cabot, he's actually pulled away from Golly by about a second.
Yeah, I think that their little fight has really worn out the tires in the 12 car. Looks to me not so much in the 77. He's still got some tires to work with. And you can see just out of the corner of that shot, Robert Hill, and more importantly, Tim Downey Jr. up the road, about to go lap down.
And not only did the top 2 spread out, Butler and Chambliss, they're all like a second apart right now all of a sudden. So really got spread out all of a sudden. The closest battles, I believe, Bowers and Stravato. I'd keep an eye on Stravato. He's got to get all the positions he can get.
Yeah, Stravato currently the faster of these 2 cars, caught up to the 31, and looks like he's ready to take on 5th place. So the 31, I imagine Bowers is going to put up a fight, and we were just talking earlier. 31 has had some pretty solid runs this season. Hasn't really been able to get the finishes down, but looking like he might be able to do so tonight as we've got past halfway through this race. This race is honestly blown on by with the amount of stuff that's gone on.
Yeah, we think it's really still got a long ways to go, but really only 60 laps and one more green flag stop at the most here. So it's going to be interesting to see the pit strategy that goes on with the guys that need to get closer to Butler, like Stravato, Bell, Hronis, those types of guys. Have to see what they were willing to do under a green flag stop to get more positions. Maybe a 2-tire stop, who knows?
Yeah, and if you're Elliot Butler now, do you try anything? Do you try to game anything, or just do the bog standard 4 tires and fuel?
Yeah, dude, 4 tires and fuel. I don't see any point in going for any more points when your top 2 competitors are at the bottom of the pile. I think the best situation is just do whatever Cabot does or whatever the top 2 in front of you does. Don't react to what the people are doing behind you. Try to get the best tires you can, be even with the leaders, try to hold your position, hope if anyone does jump you on tires, hope that their tires are old enough, run right by them. Because P3's got to feel like a win to him.
Yeah, especially, considering that for most of his chase, he really wasn't that big of a factor. He really, at the start of this chase, after Talladega, which I believe was the first round, we're looking at Tim Downey Jr., Zach Halpern, Alek Martinez, and Jeff Wright as being your champions. And, 2 of those drivers, Halpern and Wright, have kind of dropped out and phased out of the race. And it really was Martinez and Tim Downey that kind of went on. And then Butler has been slowly creeping in. And now here he is in the later part with a chance at getting the championship and stealing it away, at least stealing the points lead away, as Cabot gets on by Casey Lakatos. And you can see right up the road, there's Tim Downey Jr.
Yeah, it might feel like to some people that Butler's going to potentially steal this. But Butler puts in the hard work pretty much for every race weekend. He's always, like we said earlier, Mr. Consistency. So he's still got to do a job next week at Indy, but he's definitely gonna be prepared. There's no one else who really prepares better than Butler for most tracks. Speaking of preparing, speaking of preparing, maybe Golly's preparing for a pit stop soon. His tires. Did he pit? Because I believe. I'm not sure. No, he hasn't pitted. I was just looking at something completely different. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I was saying Halpern, he started to move up the order a little bit, just went on by the 15 of Alex Bell, and is now trying to set his sights on Eli Hinton slightly up the road, and Brandon Bowers too. Actually, it looks like Stravato has gone past him for 5th, and Bauer's now starting to fall back. But we're talking about the top 3. Gallia, he started to fall back quite a bit, and even Butler, too. He's fallen to 4.5 seconds again. I think he's just eyeing for this top 3 position. If anything, a top 5 will do him fantastic. So I think, again, just trying to run his own race. Don't get into the wall. Don't wreck yourself at this point.
Yeah, just maintain the tires, maintain the car in general, and you'll probably be fine. I was just looking, we were talking about biggest movers earlier in the race. We have a couple candidates right now. I got Stravato 14th to 5th, Hinton 15th to 7th. The biggest one probably Bowers 17th to 6th. And it was Hronis, but Hronis slipped back to 10th. Still 9 positions total. We got a couple people going rear to front.
Now on lap 100 as... Oh, Adam Cabot does a cheeky job to go 3 wide between the 87, I believe, William Troy and Tim Downey Jr. and putting both those guys another lap down.
That could have been disaster. Luckily, both cars went either straight to the bottom or away to a wall, so good driving by the lap cars and good heads up by Cabot to avoid a big wreck.
That could have been definitely dangerous. Elliot Butler down at pit road. He's also going to bring on Brian Chambliss, and we're seeing the final.
Cabot's coming in now.
The final stops of the race as Adam Cabot is coming on down as well.
This is going to bring a lot of people in. Here comes Stravato. Here comes Brandon Bowers as well. I saw Gali stay out. This is going to bring the whole field. Here's the final round of stops.
Yeah, indeed. Gali keeping an eye on him at the moment. Whoa! Just had William Troy get a little bit loose in front of him. That could have been dicey. Whoa! Still not done
it's
yet.
Still dicey. Gali was coming to pit road. I don't think Troy got the memo. But Gali's going to get in pretty safely. Might be too slow, but he's going to get in regardless without any further damage.
Yeah, I think with the change of tires, he's going to need a change of racing overalls, because that could have been ugly for him. That could have ended his race.
He can't do it right now. It's going to make the pit stop longer. He got time for that. Oh, Butler. Butler's really slow off the pits. I think he might have just almost spun out of the pits.
They're trying to find him on timing and scoring.
He did. He got into the grass. He missed a shift.
Yeah, looking at Elliot Butler coming off from pit road. Get on board with the 6. Oh yeah, you can hear it? Oh.
Back in. He is coming back in, so he might have gotten a penalty on pit road, which is unfortunate. He was running decent, but Bowers is back into the pits.
And that's really unfortunate for him. He was running. We're talking about him being had the pace, but again, just not able to, not going to be able to get it done again. So a penalty for the 31 of Brandon Bowers. Going to have to stop in his stall, hold, I believe, for 15 seconds, and then get back underway.
We'll see where this all sorts out. Cabot's still got I believe, a decent gap on Gali here. We'll see at the line.
Yeah, a lot of drivers still yet to make their stop. Adam Cabot currently in 10th. Eli Hinton, the driver leading the field, still yet to come in for his final stop.
I think Cabot has about 4 seconds on Gali, along with Gali getting mixed up with Troy, and he just had a shallow entrance in general. That was not a good sequence for Gali. But at the same time, he opened up a decent gap to Chambliss and Butler.
Yeah, looking at Yosef Gali coming out at turn 4, and there's Brian Chambliss as well as Elliot Butler. And even Angelo Stravato, too, made up quite a bit of time on pit road on these drivers. So he's hunting in for these 3 and trying to get 2 more spots.
Looks like, unfortunately, I think Bowers was just done with the whole thing. It looks like he called it a night, I believe.
Oh, and here comes Butler and the 42 side by side. Butler going to rip around the outside and get the spot.
I'll tell you what, Stravato's probably going to drive really hard here. He sees the 6. That's basically his ticket to sell out the championship hopes. He's going to really try hard to get by Chambliss and see what he can do with Butler.
Yeah, not quite sure what the points gap is here. I'm going to try to pull it up on my phone. I have it on another screen.
I don't think either driver has any bonus points, so... Position! 23 almost wrecked in front of that big pack. That was way too close.
Yeah, that could have been absolutely disastrous. For Robert Hill. It's still slow down off of turn 4. I think he's going to need a second to collect himself again. Oh, he has a flat, I think.
Really?
Yeah, the way the car transitioned off the banking, it looks like he might have had... Yeah, something's broken in that car, and I think... Yeah, looking at the car. Oh yeah, there it goes. I think it's the left front. Or the right. I think it is the right. Actually, yeah, it would make more sense. It would make significantly more sense if it was. Yeah. Happened in, I think, 3. Right on board here. There it goes. Whew.
That was crazy. That was almost disaster.
Yeah, I saw we had one on broadcast at with the Fuel Cup Series for their finale of Las Vegas. Someone was really trying to test how durable the tires were, and they found out. Didn't get into the wall, but had to lug that thing back around. It is not fun driving a car with a flat tire. It's very slow and very annoying, and you lose a lot.
Yeah, it didn't look fun. Did not look fun.
Would not recommend.
Not look fun for the people that he blew the tire in front of either.
Yep. Well, Eli Hinton's still out on the track and still in the lead. He's got Alex Bell sitting in second, and actually Alex Bell currently 25 points behind in fourth for the championship before this race started. And even further back is AJ Stravato, who is 36 points back. So it's really not looking, unless something bad happens to Butler, which I'm kind of holding my breath with, because it could happen at this point.
Yeah, anything could happen at this point. People like Hinton, Bell, and also Tim Downey just hoping for something to happen, because Tim Downey Jr., who I think did go a lap down, he's back in the lead lap for now, but if the yellow doesn't come out, he's probably going to go at least 2 down. And also for Alek, he's only 2 down at the moment, so even that might not get him back into the race, but it would sure help.
I think Hinton's blowing a tire. His tire's going down. Oh, there it is. He's gone into the wall. I think it's starting to go.
It's got to call him in, I believe. He's losing a lot of time. It was a 25 last lap.
Yeah, he's struggling to get this thing rotated.
It's got to go down.
He went way out of the line. Yeah, he's still
last race. Might as well go for it, I suppose.
He's really hoping for the caution. Hopefully he isn't the caution, because that could very well happen.
I knew tires were rated up here. I just didn't expect this many problems. Oh, Alex Bell, he just spun out of the pits. He saved it, but he lost a lot of time there. He hit the cone.
Take a look at what happened to Alex Bell. That was kind of happening off the screen as Hinton was coming on by. Right on board with the 15. Getting up to speed here. Oh, just got loose on the kind of the banking on the apron. A little that there is, got a little bit loose and got it going again.
Position, you get the lead for a little bit, but I don't know. It just seems like he's losing so much time. He's completely losing it in the turns. He's going to hold up Elliot Butler.
I guess he figures it's his last race, might as well lead a few laps. And can't blame him.
Might as well get some victory laps. It ain't going to be victory laps, but good enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I think anything for him at this point. It's unfortunate to not see him back at a lot of pace. And it's really funny to say a 13 or ex-14-year-old by now probably is retiring, but as he comes onto the pitch, he's going to surrender.
Oh, hey, big moment. Yusuf Ghali just disconnected.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate. And there go, another one bites the dust.
Looking down the backstretch into 3. He kind of just... I'm trying to see what happened. He, stutters out of 4. Maybe did put fuel in it? Did he alt F4?
Did it say Klein manually disconnected, or did it say...
Yes. It wasn't a lag out. It looked like he alt F4'd for whatever reason. He didn't put fuel in it?
I don't know.
Joe Campbell just disconnected at the same time. I think he might have gotten speeding.
Interesting. So.
And Chuck Sweeting as well.
Huh. I think iRacing's to blame here. Well, actually, no. Yeah, isn't the iRacing 24 hours is going on, right?
Yeah, that's true. Chuck Sweeting spun on into the pits. I think he had a bad entrance. That might be why he wrecked.
Oh, okay.
He wrecked and kind of left. I don't know about Ghali because he started it's like he was on and off the throttle out of 4, and they disconnected. Now William Troy disconnected, and it's saying they're manually disconnecting, not lagging out. So I'm not sure what's happened right now.
A mass exodus of cars has occurred.
They're all on the same team. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? What I
See,
do know
Downey's
is that AJ Stravato is trying to hold off Brian Chambliss while trying to chase down Elliot Butler. These three have not gotten separated at all.
P2, P3, pretty big point stays as Adam Cavitt's got a big lead now that Golly's out of the way. 9 seconds to Butler, Stravato, and Chambliss. It's another 17 seconds back to Angelo Hronis.
Yeah, and I'm sure Butler's happy about Golly disconnecting because there's a second place finish right there. I was looking at
all of a sudden,
second.
All of a sudden with Cabot, I believe everything's sorted out pit stop wise. We only have 6 cars on the lead lap. Yeah. Cabot, Butler, Stravato, Chambliss, Hronis, and Matt White. That's it.
Yeah, and Bruce Boyer is the first car a lap down, running in 7th place. So yeah, you can see it there. The ticker's not lying. Cabot's just that fast. He's 9 seconds up the road, and no one can really touch him at this moment with almost 25 laps to go.
I'd say he'd be fuming if there was a yellow, but it might not be the end of the world because you only got to go back 6 spots if there is a yellow, and no one's really going to take 2.
Yeah, and well, we also talked about, how you should never give up. Those mass amount of disconnects with Golly, Sweden, Campbell, and Troy, and Bowers too, actually, I think was also kind of involved in that as well. Recently, those 5 drivers retiring within the last 20 laps. Those guys have jumped up another 5 spots, so Tim Downey up into 14 actually now, and also looking at Alek Martinez in 18. So they're reducing their deficit back to Elliot Butler, but I think Butler would still end up taking the points lead back.
It'll definitely help Martinez and Downey make up for a couple mess-ups, to say the least, as Downey's 2 down, Martinez 4 down. Yeah, lightly, very lightly, to say the least. But it'll help him a little bit, but Elliot Butler's still in the catbird seat here, and Stravato's really just trying to gain at least, I believe it would be a 2-point gain if he passed him here, just by how those points work. 14th to 3rd on today. He's had a great run. P2 would be a bonus. See what he could do at Indy.
Yeah, I really could see what he could do at Indy. Again, I think he still needs something to happen to the 6. There's a big deficit. And even Alex Bell's ahead of him, although Alex Bell's having a decent day, currently in 9th, not really close to anyone or far from anyone. He's kind of in his own race at the moment. He's got Robert Gaba slightly up the road. But going back to these guys, yeah, Stravato trying to get past Elliot Butler here. This could be big.
He took a look there. That could have been bad, but thought better of it. Interesting to see. Now I'm thinking about it, 6 cars on the lead lap, 7 with the lucky dog, maybe some wave arounds. It might not be the worst idea to take 2 tires in a way, because especially for people like Chambliss, or maybe Cabot, who's kind of out of it now, Matt White, you really don't have much to lose, especially in points and also on the track, because you only go back to about maybe somewhere in the top 10. So it's not the worst idea maybe to try some strategy at the end of a race if a caution does come out.
Yeah, we're definitely getting down to where that is pretty viable as a strategy, so we'll have to see, who dares to try it. But I'm sure some of these guys are going to try at least something, especially, yeah, like you're saying, considering how few guys are on the lead lap. Speaking of which, we could be losing another driver. Matt White, he's got Adam Cabot. You can see Cabot coming off of 4 as White crosses the line. So we could have only 5 cars soon on the lead lap.
Yeah, no, I remember, I think Kyle Busch won a race here maybe in 08. There was only 6 cars left on the lead lap. All of a sudden, Adam Cabot's just bringing the thunder down on the rest of the field. Just absolutely blowing the field away, which it doesn't seem like it was happening, but I guess he's just been on a tear.
Yeah, and it was pretty much right immediately after Downey and Martinez.
Oh, Robert Hill. Robert Hill, I think, got into the outside wall. He gathered it back up, and he's going to get going again. It's been a rough.
Oh, looks like he hit the wall on this straightaway. Here, oh yeah, just hit the wall. Whoa, yeah, cut across dangerously across the track. Everyone got out of the way. Could have been a lot worse for the 23.
Stravato's trying everything he can, but just nothing doing.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, it's getting pretty heated between these two. If you're Elliot Butler, do you let the 33 on by and just call it 3rd, or do you want to try to stay up in 2nd?
With under 20 to go, me personally, I think I'd try my best to keep him behind him, because you never know what could happen at Indy. There's still valuable points up for grabs here, especially when Butler's in a position. So I think you got to try everything you can to hold P2 here.
And Stravato's definitely trying. He's doing the best that he can, trying to stick his nose up the inside.
Might get a good run here.
Yeah, and he's getting a better run than the 6, so he's looking to be faster too.
going to try over-under here, maybe get a run down into turn number 1. Don't think that's the play. Didn't work.
Looking off the back bumper of Elliot Butler at the 33. Whoa, big slip up for the 6.
Don't know what happened there. Maybe Butler is letting him by. He just went way up the track there and put Stravato into P2 as Butler slides again.
Yeah, Butler, I think, just got loose in the middle of the corner. Well, he's struggling with something. Alek Martinez is now in behind him.
Don't wreck him, Alek.
Oh, you can imagine the... Whoa, boy. Butler got into the wall there.
I don't know if that's my strategy or what's going on here. He's way off the pace all of a sudden, like he's saving fuel or something.
I'd be surprised if he is. I thought more or less guys were able to get to the end, and I don't know what's going on, but I think you need to give him a few corners and hopefully he can get back on pace. It looks like something cut down or broken the car.
If it was... Oh. I think Clayton got involved behind it, but I don't know. There's no way unless you just missed the number, you can't be short on fuel.
Oh, getting a little bit loose. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully Butler can make it to the end. He's only got to go 13 more laps.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Stravato last lap was a 23.8 to the 6's 24.5. We'll see this lap. 24 flat by Stravato, 23.9 by Butler. So maybe what sorted out what happened, but just have no clue what was going on there as Hinton goes to his outside.
Yeah, and it started with him just kind of slipping up in the middle of the corner, and then it seemed all hell broke loose for Elliot Butler for a few laps, but it looks like up and he's going out of line again.
I thought he was letting him by, but I don't know what was the case there after. Now he's about 2 seconds behind Stravato.
Yeah, and also now he's got Brian Chambliss starting to breathe out his neck.
Can't really... You don't want to drop too far back. Chambliss is pretty much his only competition for the rest of the race with about 10 to go, half a second back. Then Hronis is about 6 back, but points are points. It's going to be about a 2-point loss to Stravato. Every point matters, so this would be... It'll make things a little more interesting going into Indy.
Yeah, looking at Robert Gaba, Eli Hinton, and Eddie Trejo going at the moment right ahead of these guys. This is a bit of a cluster.
Trying just looking through the rest of the field. Downey 2 down, first one 2 down. Matt White did get lapped, first car 1 lap down. Then Bell, Boyer, Trejo, and Hinton's at the top 10 spot. Definitely the freshest tires in the field, I think. And I believe Angelo Hronis is going to be the next one to get lapped pretty soon here. And that would only leave 4 cars on the lead lap.
Yep, and we're going to watch as it happens here. Adam Cabbage setting a phenomenal pace to everyone else. Going to look up the inside. Hronis really not going to fight a whole lot. Doesn't really need to. Just running in 5th.
Still running 23.5s, Cabot is. And compared to P2, these last lap, 23.6 this lap. Stravato's not even in the 3, mind you. He's coming out of 4. 23.6, and you get Stravato running that lap as a 23.9, so 0.3 difference at the least. It's a pleasing pace by the 77.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff out of him. Looking back at Elliot Butler and Chambliss, anything between them, it looks like their gap still maintained at the moment at around half a second. I'm sure Butler wants to keep it that way. Doesn't really want to drop more than 3rd.
Chambliss still stalking Butler. I think he might be good here, just kind of maintaining in front of Chambliss for now, as it seems like everything's gone back good again, and P3 just might be where he lies.
Yeah, and I think this is, again, I'm really hoping I'm not jinxing him by saying this within 5 laps to go. AJ Stravato, how about this? A 2nd place finish. I think this is well deserving for him considering what's happened this season. And we said that before within the closing laps of our race, that something bad has happened to him. Again, I hope by saying that within 5 laps he's able to make it to the end without something going horribly wrong. But it looks like this M&M scheme's bringing him some luck. Hopefully it'll happen for next week.
It's only like 1 side-by-side battle, and it's not even for position right now, so I hope it holds serve for him. Stravato's done a nice job. 14th a second, 12 spots gained. Only behind people like Hronis and Bruce Boyer. Really nice chart. I give another nod to Bruce Boyer, why not? He started 26th on the grid, lap down right now, but 26th to 8th is a great recovery.
Yeah, I have listed in 9th. I think it'll probably update at the line. But yeah, from
That was
17th
yeah.
to 9th, really solid job for Moose Boyer, as you were saying. And considering again he hasn't had really the best of seasons as well, but will be a nice solid. Oh, gets into the wall as I'm talking about.
Better than the other curse that we do. At least there wasn't a full-on wreck yet.
Yeah, well.
Oh, here comes Chambliss. Chambliss just got by Butler and all that for P3, so put Butler back to 4th. Nope, Butler back to 3rd. Nope, 4th. I was right.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's going to try to fight for it. He's still pretty close to the 42, but something's just not gone right in that car. Oh, he's hit the wall a bit. Oh boy.
Might as well just hold on to the end of a race here, as there's really nothing else he can really do now, as Adam Cabot's already coming out of turn number 4. He's on 2 to go, by the way. This is the white flag lap. What a drive in this second half by Adam Cabot.
Yeah, phenomenal job. I haven't really spoken a whole lot about him because he just kind of took off, other than a fight with the 12 of Yusuf Ghali ever since Downey and Martinez wrecked. The 77 took command of the lead and just never really looked back, in 18 seconds ahead of AJ Stravato. That's almost a full lap, and he doesn't have to sweat or anything. As he rounds out at turn 4, it'll be Adam Cabot that wins at Dover.
One of the best drives you've probably seen all season out of any ORL driver. Just absolutely dominating in the second half after everything was said and done. Great drive by Cabot. As where's Stravato? He's still coming through turn 4 to take P2, as he's going to get there nice and safe. P2 for AJ Stravato, well deserved.
And Brian Chambliss elected to run this race pretty much on a whim, as far as I'm aware, and finished in 3rd. That's a solid finish there. And Elliot Butler looking to collect a hefty amount of points after his championship competitors struggled. He's going to finish in 4th. And that rounds out your lead left finishes.
That's it.
Very
That's
small
it.
race.
I guess a good top 5 for Hronis. I wonder how he feels about it. It's a top 5. A lap down, you're probably just thinking, what the hell? No answer for that 77 tonight.
And Adam Cabot doing some burnouts on the front straightaway. Definitely earned it. And we'll let him do a little bit of celebrating before we go to break and catch some guys to interview. And I'm sure there's some guys that might have some pretty nice things to say.
He hit the left rear to clear tech. He clearly hit the back of a car just to clear his tech. I'd investigate that.
That's the only explanation for leading 18 seconds at the checker flag.
Pulled a Greg Biffle, did the same thing here.
Are y'all at break?
Might be now.
Alright, and with that, we'll cut to commercial. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. All right, we're back here with Alek Martinez. He's gonna be the first driver we're interviewing tonight. Alek, we were talking about earlier. You had a pretty interesting night. You came in here with a pretty fast car, fighting with Tim Downey Jr., who was pretty close to you in the points, and unfortunately, both of you guys tangled up. What do you? So, what would you describe happened between you two guys?
I don't know. Just racing, and then coming off of four, I got tight, and he hit me, and I tried to keep it. I hit the wall and bounced back down and right into him. So, I don't know. Is what it is. We'll go on to Indy, and I don't know. We'll see what the points look like. So, should be an interesting fight. Should be a three-way battle going into Indy. So, I'm sure everybody watching will see an exciting one at Indy.
Yeah. So, considering you had a pretty decent points lead up until this point of the season, has your kind of game plan for Indianapolis, has it changed quite a bit now that you're kind of being put on the offensive?
Nope. Just go and finish ahead of the guys that I have to beat, and that's what's going to be. So, see what happens, and we'll see what it comes down to next week, and we'll go get them at Indy.
All right, that was Alek Martinez. Alek, unfortunately, you finished down in 17th, but hopefully things go better for you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Moving on next, we got Tim Downey Jr. And Tim, you had a pretty interesting last 2 weeks. They've definitely not gone your way, especially considering the championship hunt you're in with Alek Martinez, and now also Elliot Butler, who has appeared as a favorite for the championship. The way the points play out, we'll still have to see how that all plays out. But first of all, how would you describe what happened between you and the 18?
I was catching him there, and he was stopping in the middle of the corners, and one thing led to another. I think he hit the wall and came down and got us. It's a shame, but we'll collect it and go on next week. Butler's one I've always worried about, and we'll race straight up with him because he's a clean guy.
Yeah, so really, I was going to lead into my next question. Again, I asked Martinez the same thing. As far as going into next week, how has your kind of game plan changed? You were looking like you might have been, within grasp of the A team, and now you're going to be racing the 6. So, what's your game plan for next week?
All I know is Indy is so similar to Pocono. We're going to go out, qualify first, and in my opinion.
All right. Well, we'll see where the points shake out, and we'll see how you do next week. Thanks for talking to us, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Right, moving on.
I love the shade.
Yep. Moving on next, we got Elliot Butler. And Elliot, man, I would say between the three of you, between you, Tim Downey, and Martinez, I didn't think you would have been able to get up to them. But considering what happened this race, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I've been saying for a few weeks, needed something to happen and thought it could happen between the two of them since I guess they've had some beef with each other lately and took advantage tonight.
Yeah, and looking at next week at Indianapolis, how do you feel about your pace, and really, how do you feel about really racing against these guys now that you got a really good shot? If anything, I think you're now on the defensive.
Well, Indianapolis historically has been one of my worst tracks, but ever since they've changed the package on these cars, I've been a little bit better, so I'm hoping to be right up there with them and fight.
All right. Well, that was your 4th place finisher, Elliot Butler. And actually, before I let you go, do you care to talk with us? You were looking like you were going to end up finishing 2nd there. What happened to you in those last few laps?
Actually, a couple things. First, my right front tire just was shot at the end of that run. But the thing that really caused some problems was when I was fighting off AJ, I raced with an Oculus Rift, and the tracking started drifting while I was racing with them. And when we were side by side, I was looking at the wall. I couldn't even really see.
Oh.
So
I feel you.
That caused some problems.
Bold strategy.
Yeah, I was gonna look. It looked like something was going on, not necessarily in the car, because I think the car, if anything, seemed more or less fine. Nothing really changed, but it definitely looked like it was something on your end. But unfortunately, it wasn't 2nd, but still a solid 4th place finish, and we'll see how you do next week. Thanks for talking with us, Elliot.
Thanks, man.
Yep, I definitely know how it feels to be looking upside down in VR. It's almost makes you want to throw up.
VR in general would make me throw up.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. But going on to our 3rd place finisher, we got Brian Chambliss. And Brian, it's nice to see you back out on the track. Didn't think it was kind of expected to see you out there tonight, and you did fantastic. You didn't finish in 3rd. How'd you do that?
Yeah, man. No, I mean, this tire model has helped out a lot. I have been away for a little while. I've been doing some admin, but I love this track. I'm really good here. It's a rhythm track. I'm pretty good at saving tires, so I was like, you know what? Let me see where I am compared to these guys going into next year, because I will be running full time next year. I'll still have an admin role, but I will not be in the booth. I'll be out there on the track, kind of like tonight. So hopefully this is going to show what I can do next year. I know I'm definitely better on this tire model, so just trying to go out there and show what I can do.
Yep, you basically answered what the question I was going to ask you right after was if you're going to compete next season. Nice to hear you are competing next season. Really going on with that, do you feel, third place is definitely nothing to shy away from, and even then you're running pretty much top 5 pace all night long. Do you think you might, again, it's only one track, but do you think you might have a shot at a championship next season?
I don't know if we'll go that far. We got some fast guys out here. I'm not sure who all will be back next year, but they're still, obviously, you saw today, Cabot, I looked up, was running third there at the end of the race, and there he is in my relative, and I'm about to be lapped coming home third. So obviously, I got some speed to find somewhere. But yeah, I mean, we're going to give it a shot next year for sure. Definitely playoffs is a goal. So that's what we're shooting for next year. Hopefully, we can get a couple more interviews and bring home a couple wins.
All right, that was Brian Chambliss, the 42, finishing third. Brian, we'll see you next season.
Hey, thanks, guys. Good job tonight. Hopefully, we put on a good show for you.
Oh, you definitely did. Thank you. All right, moving on to our second place finisher. Find him, there he is. AJ Stravato. And AJ, we've been waiting to talk to you for a while. You've had, for lack of a better words, not the best of seasons, and you've had some definitely shines of greatness. You almost been able to get it done, but fortunately, it's something or the other. But tonight, solid finish in second place. I know, obviously, it's not the win, but I'm sure you're definitely going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I honestly started in the back. I kind of know my season in terms of running for a championship's over, so I just kind of let the guys settle it in the back. Kind of started in the back and let the guys settle it up front and just kind of see what I could do. Had a lot of fun working through the field. That was a lot of fun. I love Dover. The setup was great. Shout out to David for that. But yeah, just taking my time driving through the field. Just happy to get my M&M's Camaro in second place and get a good finish for Dark Smoke.
Yeah, and you saw it was pretty much a green run to the end after, right before the midway point. Do you think if a caution came out, do you think you could have had anything for the 77 with maybe a strategy call, or do you think it was pretty much untouchable?
I was pretty good on the short run, but after about 5 laps, I would kind of conserve my tires, and that's kind of how I got through the field. You saw at Kentucky, I had a chance to win right there, and I choked that one away. So who knows? But Cabot was class of the field. I mean, you saw how much he won by, so it's hard to say. But I just know I'm happy I got a second place finish. It's a good way to go into the last race of the season, and I do like Indy, even though the package kind of stinks with the track. I do enjoy the track.
All right, that was AJ Stravato, your second place finisher. AJ, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for the broadcast.
No problem. And last, but certainly not least, we have interviewed quite a few drivers tonight, but we'll now get to your race winner, and it is Adam Cabot in the 77. Adam, needless to say, you did a fantastic job out there. 18-second lead at the line. How'd you get it done?
It was a mix of a lot of really weird circumstances and then hitting on something in practice and finally figuring something out with this tire model that allowed me to really save tires and a lot of speed in the long run. But yeah, I've been really frustrated since this new V7 tire came out. Felt pretty lost on it, didn't have any speed. And then I just tried something in practice, and it absolutely works. And I think I would have had something for Yusuf or Alek or Tim, but they all kind of ended up in different situations and took themselves out of the race. And after that, it was pretty much just smooth sailing.
Yeah, and speaking of Yusuf, too, we saw that you guys had a heck of a battle in the middle of that race, and unfortunately Yusuf ended up losing connection towards the later part and left the server. So do you think that if you continued going, especially too with the caution come out, do you think you would have been a threat for your chance at a win, or do you think you pretty much had this locked down?
I think he would have been a threat. I was trying to keep that lead at 2 seconds and save my tires with him behind me. I think I still could have won the race and still probably would have won the race, but I would not have been surprised if if he figured something out and made a late race charge there. But his issue was he unfortunately for him, when he pit, somehow didn't end up getting fuel in the car.